Hey everybody, today I'm going to feature my top 5 picks in Makita's 18-volt cordless lineup. Now recently they've really been expanding this lineup and I have some of my favorites already. I've looked at some of the new ones but I haven't got to use them to the point that I would be comfortable recommending them. Now the ones that I will recommend to you today I've had extensive use with. We've seen tremendous run times as well as power levels, and more importantly I never run into a problem with Makita tools overheating on me. That would be the battery pack or the charger. And even under extended, extreme use, they never have a problem and they're not going to shut off on you. The other thing to keep in mind, this entire lineup will be cross-compatible with the same battery packs and chargers. So let's say you're looking for a lightweight unit, a compact 2 amp hour pack would be the best choice. But if you want maximum power and maximum runtime, a high capacity pack would do a lot better. Next, I'm going to go through my top 5 picks, and I'm going to show you why I like each one so much. Starting out with number 5 would be the XAG03 brushless angle grinder. And unlike the previous version, which was a brushed model, the grip on this is a lot more sleek and easy to hold on to. And if you want excellent control, you can use the side handle. Right now I have it set up for right-handed use, but if you are left-handed, you could unscrew that, move it to the opposite side, it would be set up for left-handed use. It is going to be a slide lock style, so it doesn't have a paddle switch on the bottom, which some people may like. This is actually going to lock on, and you would have to hit that button again in order to get the motor to cut back off. Now, adjusting the guard is very simple and it's tool-free, and it does have an additional guard which would be used for cutting. This is the grinding guard with the open bottom, and the cutting guard, to really save yourself from getting covered in sparks, would be completely solid all the way across there. You'd really want to match that up with whatever you're working on. And if you are using this and there's a lot of dust in the air, it does also have metal vents at the base. This is the air intake, and these are going to clog up, meaning it's not going to get any of those particles into the motor damaging something, and it's very easy to remove them. You can just grab on and they're going to pop right off. You could then rinse that out, it'd be as good as new, and you could pop it right back in place. Now, one thing unique about this angle grinder that you normally don't see is an automatic speed change. If it senses a heavy cut, or maybe you're grinding and you're really pressing down on it, it's going to automatically ramp up the power to keep the RPMs the same, and it's not going to bog down on you. When you flip this on, it's going to be up to 8,500 RPMs, and whether you're doing material removal or you're cutting, it's going to be very fast and very efficient. Number 4 would be the XWT02 half-inch drive brushless compact impact wrench. This is a lightweight unit coming in at roughly 4 pounds with a battery pack installed, and the overall length is less than 6 inches. Because it is using a standard half-inch anvil, if you have half-inch impact sockets, the same ones that fit on this will fit on a larger high-torque model, eliminating the need for having 2 sets of sockets or even using adapters. And really, depending on what you're working on, they do have 3 different speed or power modes. We have a low speed, we have a medium speed, as well as a high speed mode. This will allow you to really fine-tune the power levels so you don't accidentally damage something, and if you need a tremendous amount of torque, you can easily achieve that. The last thing to note would be the LED light. If we look at that, it will come on and it does have a time delay, but if you're in a well-lit garage, or maybe you don't like LED lights, you can completely disable that. That same button that alternates between the different speed or power modes can disable that light if you hold in on it. The light's going to go off, and now when we activate the wrench, it will not cut back on. In order to reactivate the light, you just press that again, the LED is going to come back on, and then it's going to be functioning as normal. Normally with an impact wrench, we like to see a friction or hog ring anvil, which would be a tiny clip around the front of here, allowing you to easily remove or install sockets. If you notice, this one does have a pin, however, it's not a standard pin detent like you would see on a construction version. And if you line the hole with the socket up with that pin, you click it into place, it's going to then pop into that hole, preventing it from falling off of there. Now, normally with a standard pin detent version, you would have to take something and press that pin in as you were trying to remove the socket. But because this actually has a bevel to it the whole way around, the pin does not have flat sides. That means you can grab onto the same socket, and even though it is locked in and the pin is inserted into the hole in the side of it, you can easily remove it. Number 3 would be their brand new brushless half-inch subcompact drill. Now this is not going to be a hammer drill, so it's really a drill driver depending on driving screws or drilling holes in wood or other materials. But it does have a tremendous amount of power and also a tremendous amount of runtime. In the full video review, we got a lot of work done on one 2 amp hour battery charge. And even with an extreme test, we use a 2 9/16 self-feeding wood bit with this. Normally with something like that, you'd need a full-size version such as the XPH07, but that's going to be much larger and much heavier. If you don't need to drill very large holes, or let's say you're drilling holes all day long, this would be a lot better option because you're not going to get nearly as tired. And when you do need to pull out a large bit, you can still chuck it up and then drill a hole right through some wood. It might not have the exact speed of a larger unit, but because you are saving so much on weight, and this is very compact, you can fit into places where nothing else would work. Number 2 is the XWT-08 half-inch drive high-torque brushless impact wrench. This is an extremely powerful cordless impact wrench, and as far as half-inch versions go, it beat the Milwaukee and the DeWalt. And out of all of them that I've tested to this point, this is the most powerful one on the market today. Now it is running off any of their 18-volt battery packs, so it's going to be compatible with the high capacity or the compact versions, but for maximum power you would always want to use the large capacity ones. Now remember, if you're looking at this, it is going to be large overall, and with a battery pack it weighs almost 8 pounds. So unlike a pneumatic version that would be much smaller, this one does have some size to it. It is going to have 3 different speed or power modes, just like the XWT-02, and you can also disable the LED lights exactly the same way. So if you don't want to have those on, you can turn them off, or you can leave them on and they will have a time delay like any other cordless tool. One thing to remember if you are looking at a high torque impact wrench, these do have extreme power levels. So it wouldn't be good in all cases because so much power could be applied to a fastener you could easily damage it. That's why I think you'd be a lot better off if you did a combination of a high torque model as well as a compact version, get the same exact anvil size, and you can use the same impact sockets. One feature that nobody talks about with this impact wrench is its upgraded design, specifically allowing it to eliminate vibrations going into the battery pack. Unlike a typical cordless impact wrench, which would be basically a one-piece unit from the anvil all the way to the battery, this actually is separated at the base of the grip by a large O-ring. And if we go ahead and move it around, you can see the top portion will move independently of the bottom portion. The bottom portion will actually clamp in around the base of the grip. It's separated by an O-ring, which is going to lock out dust, dirt, grease, and moisture. And it's also going to eliminate any vibrations going into that pack. That's going to save your connections inside the base of the unit, and it's also going to save the connections inside the battery pack, greatly reducing the risk of accidental damage. And my number 1 favorite Makita 18-volt tool is the XSH03 brushless 6.5-inch cordless circular saw. This is a very compact and lightweight unit, coming in at just over 7 pounds with the battery pack installed. And what really sets it apart from the competition is its cut speed. The motor is spinning at 5,000 RPMs, and it has something called an electric brake. That means you'll make very fast cuts, and as soon as you release the trigger, the blade's going to stop almost instantly. And like the angle grinder, it has something called an automatic speed change. So when the motor senses a load, meaning you're making a tough cut, rather than bogging down, it's going to apply additional power, increasing the speed to get you through it with no issues. Now remember that this is going to have a left-hand blade orientation, not a right-hand blade orientation. So if you like one over the other, that's something to keep in mind. But as far as watching your cut line or lighting up your cut line with the LED light, you have a great line of sight and it's no problem. The other thing to remember, the maximum cut depth with this, because it is a 6.5-inch saw, is going to be 2.25 inches. But for most applications, that's not going to be a problem. And if you want some extreme run times and also some extreme power, I would highly recommend this saw. So now you've seen my top 5 picks in Makita's 18-volt cordless lineup. But what I'm interested in is, do you agree with the top 5 that I picked, or do you like something completely different? Leave a comment below this video and let me know what your favorite Makita tools are. And if I see something that I haven't used before, I might end up picking one up and doing a full video review on it. The other thing I'd like for you to tell me is what you would like to see next on my next top 5 video. I have a lot of ideas and I have a lot of things I can do, but if I see a lot of people requesting the same thing, I will end up bumping that to the front of the line. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.